Carmen. Hello, Carmen.
Hey,
It's really, really lovely to meet you.
likewise. You are one of my favorites ever.
And thank you so much for you did that taster session a little while ago now, with your single, and just really welcoming you to the group. It's lovely to have you here.
It's been really a great group. You guys have offered so much inspiration, especially you with your messages and that. That's really something that really it's like one of the highlights of my week.
Oh, oh, wow, I'm very complimented, but I also want to check in with you about your week. No, really. No, I'm complimented. I'm glad you're getting a lot out of the group, and I'm really want
There's so
to.
many creative people, so many.
Yeah, and isn't it great with Facebook? It's quite easy to be parts of the group and never actually see anybody. So I really wanted to prioritize making sure everybody gets to see everybody else, because it's even though there's lots of different stuff goes on in Facebook, as we all know, but it's just really lovely to get to know everyone and to actually see people like we are doing now. So Carmen, yeah, and your gorgeous song, tell us about what's going on with you at the moment and how you got started. Where do you want to start?
Let's see. Well, I've been singing since I was 4 years old, a billion years ago. But yeah, I've sang all my life, and I actually really got serious about it maybe about 10, 15 years ago. And I started joining bands here in town, and just really honing my skills in that.
Whereabouts are you?
Before that, yeah. What's that?
Whereabouts are you?
Oh, I'm in Toledo, Ohio.
Mhm.
Originally from Detroit, Michigan. I tell people I'm here by way of Detroit, Michigan, because Toledo and Detroit are so close
Okay.
in proximity. People call Toledo South Detroit.
Okay. Right.
But I was originally born and raised in Detroit. Started singing like as a little kid in church choirs and things like that. And then when I was in high school and coming up, I was always in the girl groups and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, singing has been my life. And then I would say a few years ago, I really started to think I could really do something with this, because my kids, believe it or not, my kids are grown.
Wow, Carmen.
And I told them, you never give up on your dreams. And so I wanted to be an example to them, that it's never too late, or never, time is not the factor in actually pursuing what it is that you love. If there's so many different ways in music that you can be successful, or so many ways, so many different things that success looks like in music. You don't always have to be, Beyonce pop star status. Sometimes you can just write beautiful music, and if it means something to somebody, or perform and locally, and if it means something to somebody. I've got pretty loyal people here that follow me, and that means everything.
So how that's such a lovely sentiment. It's so important to remember. And I love that you shared that about your family, and that you wanted to show it absolutely that your passion and what you love to do, it is ageless, and it's really lovely to be able to pick that up at any time in your life when you feel that you have the time to do it, which it sounds like you absolutely do now. So when you're talking about yeah, so what have you been doing? So since you kind of said that and you put it out there, what's been happening?
Well, since the pandemic, especially, I've been like in a writing frenzy.
Okay. Oh, you did
I've started.
well. I thought I was going to write loads over the pandemic. I wrote nothing.
Oh no. Well,
It's
see,
okay. I
here's
was
the
doing
thing.
other things, but I'm like, okay,
Well, I've seen you. You've been all over the place.
I've been doing things. I've been writing, but
I see
anyway,
you, girl.
yeah, thank you. So, but I love it. I love that you took to writing, and yeah, and thanks for sharing that Thursday post with us, and remind us
I
about
did.
that track actually.
That particular track was one that was actually the
Tired,
gateway
right?
track. Yeah, tired. My brother, he sent me, my brother is a producer and he lives across the country. He lives all the way in Phoenix, Arizona, which is hours and hours away from me. But we like will email each other when we have ideas and things like that. So he sent me the music and I was like, I gotta put something to this. And mind you, all the studios around here are closed. So guess how I recorded that song?
I don't know. Tell us.
On my phone.
Oh, you did?
I literally did that song on my cell phone. I use this and I'll give you guys a little trade secret. I use this program, this app called Spire, Spire, and it has a really, really great, like it's almost like a recording studio on your phone.
Oh,
And I'm so serious. I did that track and then I just kept recording and kept recording. I ended up doing maybe 5 songs like that. And then
brilliant. I've never heard of
girl,
Spire. Thank you.
Spire, Spire. So if anybody's listening and you can't get to a studio, and it's a free app, believe it or not.
That's brilliant. Sounds so good.
And so like I did that, and then I actually did a house music project with a DJ, DJ, what is his name? DJ Winesk.
Okay.
And he's out of the Netherlands. And he
How did
actually
that
was
come
living,
about, Carmen?
he was actually living in Toledo. And I came across him among some mutual friends. And you know how it is, Facebook and all of that, let's do a project or whatever. And we've done like a whole like house music project with some songs that are on my website as well.
Oh, that's exciting.
I tell you what, house music is close to my heart because, of course, I am from Detroit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's always, so you kind of do you do quite a lot of top lines, Carmen, as well? I mean, you obviously write too, but is that the kind of thing that you put a top line over the track that you have? Hmm.
Absolutely. And it's kind of, that's been the easiest way to record, but I was able to, finally get into the studio with some musicians and, to really like do some more organic type of recording. But on this phone, those things, girl, it comes so easy.
That's so cool. That's so cool to find out about because I didn't know. I've never heard of that. And
And
with all of these interviews, people have talked about different things, and it's really lovely. It's just brilliant to share the information, isn't it? Share the
yes,
latest things, and you kind of think that you know or you're up to speed, and then you find something new out all the time. So where would we find your music and like have you done albums? Because you're telling it, I mean, I know about the tired, but
I have done a couple of albums.
have you?
Believe it or not, my first project was like a more of a inspirational type of project. I'm an old school church girl.
Oh,
So
I
I did
love
a
it.
really inspirational album that was
Is that
called
cool?
All Good. And then I did
Is it called All Good? Is that what you said?
All Good. Yep.
Okay.
And then I did a rock album
Oh,
that was called Skin and Bones. And those are like my first foray into attempting to do music myself. Those were studio albums that I did. And right now, I've just been kind of putting out single after single and just kind of seeing what happens. One of my songs had been picked up for a TV movie,
has it?
and it was a couple of years ago, but I'm looking to really get back into, you know, like writing for film and TV and things like that. So right
What
now,
was it? What was it picked up?
um, it was a VH1 movie. It was called Bad Dad Rehab with Malik Yoba and all. It was a few years ago.
Called something Rehab?
Bad Dad Rehab.
Bad Dad Rehab. That sounds cool. What was the song called?
The song was called Let's Go, and it was a metal cut that I did. So
Okay.
as you can hear, I sing a little bit of everything,
Well, I think, you know,
girl.
a lot of really good singers do sing a little bit of everything. It's a testament to your versatility and to your capacity to be able to deliver really in whatever genre it is. And it sounds like, yeah, you've been a few. So how did you make that? Where are you now then? If you've been through, I mean, I identify with that because my first album was kind of quite poppy and it had a little bit of like slightly EDM things, a little bit. And then I went off into
Right,
like this
right.
jazz, slightly jazzy place. And then because I love exploring, and I think it's especially if you're an independent creative, then you get
Right.
to do what you want, because it can
That's
be that in
exactly
record
right.
companies that I mean, I know a USP is important, but even Adele said quite recently that she loves to explore, even though like if she's known for the, I don't think she, at the time that she said that, I don't think she realized that everyone knows her for those Torch songs that like we all know her for those songs there, but she was like, I love to explore. But you know, it's a lovely thing, isn't it, to go through a few different styles and to explore. So where are you at now? I mean, I heard the Tired song, but I know that you said you're really prolific over the pandemic. So do you feel like you have a theme that you're moving into, or you see, yeah.
I've actually been more in a soul direction. I've been sticking with that. Like I said, my brother and I, we've been writing quite a bit together, and he's like a
Oh,
really cool R&B producer.
right.
And also the house music. I think that that's kind of like, you know, a nice little wheelhouse to be into because it's so kitschy. But it's also timeless because people love to dance.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You can never, yeah. I mean, yeah. House music is always going to be, or dance music, exactly. It's always going to be something that people want to do. And so, have you done a few of those? So you're doing, yeah, both the soul and have you got So what are your most recent after Tired? What are your most recent tracks?
I just did a song with my son called Solitude,
With
and
your
that one is
son?
he, believe it or not, he's getting into music too, and he's a really great producer as well.
Oh my
And it
goodness!
was really kind of it did my heart good to be able to create with him, you know, because to see him come into his own as an artist, you know,
Oh,
it's really like seeing all of the stuff that I, you know, kind of instilled come to fruition, and it was so cool to be able to create with him. And that song's called Solitude. And like I said, I'm still recording a bunch of other stuff right now. Working on some tracks with my brother. I was also able to write a song about what we've been through, record a song about what we've been through with a German producer named Thomas Siebert. And he actually wrote this beautiful, beautiful song called Victorious, which has an official video that's on my website as well. Victorious was the one that I thought
yes.
would be universal because the theme is about, you know, after everything that we've been through, you know, you can still hold your head up and that you've survived and that we're still here. And that is what's important. And we hang on to the things that are important because life and love, that's where you find your victories.
Oh, what a wonderful sentiment, and also title, because that is the thing, isn't it? When you're writing it, did he write the lyrics for that one?
He did, and it spoke to my heart so much because, you know, we're worlds apart, right? You know, but we've all been through this one huge thing, you know, and I
Yes.
think that it's something that people don't think enough about what connects us, you know, and I have to, okay, so I'm about to tell on myself. I'm really about to tell my age. I was a kid when they did Live Aid and Hands Across America and all of the things that were going on with USA for Africa, all the stuff that we used to do to help our fellow man, and all the stuff
Mhm,
that we used to do in music and as creatives to bring people together,
mhm,
right?
mm,
And
mhm.
in a generation, we've gotten so far away from that. Everybody has been so insular. Everybody's been so, you know, self, you know, focused that we don't think about all the stuff that we've been through together, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this was like something that we could not pass by without taking a real introspective look about at who we are and what makes us victorious and how we're connected as a people, a human race, you know?
It's so enriching, especially when we especially notice that when we've been through periods of adversity, and of course, yeah, the whole pandemic thing has really brought that questioning and that reaffirming and that connection and that need to connection and that awareness of what does connect us and also what's really important. That's
That's
really,
right.
it's kind of really brought that out again, hasn't it? Because it can be so easy
Exactly.
to take life for granted and to take well, it was before the yeah. So in that sense, it's been a real level of the pandemic. And tell us a little bit, because I know that you were talking about Victorious, but you just tell us a little bit behind Solitude. So that was with your son, and did you do the lyrics on that one, or did you both do the lyrics on that?
And we both did our own lyrics because he actually is featured as a rapper on it as well.
So did you do the? So you did the lyrics for the singing part, and he did the.
Uh-huh.
And tell us about
Exactly.
that. So
And so
solitude, is that
this
like independence or isolation? What's going on?
now, this one is a little more closer to my heart. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Actually, it's a little more closer to home, I think, for everybody. Well, during the pandemic, everybody was working from home. And so I had a full house, girl. And I could not find a quiet place anywhere. So as much as I love for us to be together with like the whole victorious thing, sometimes you just need a moment. Am I right?
Okay, so that was about you, like just like really relishing the idea or the moments where you did have solitude. I mean, solitude is a gorgeous thing. Sometimes you can have a little bit too much solitude, but I love because there can be negative associations around solitude, and I can
But it's
remember.
all it
Yeah, I
oh go
can
ahead.
remember being told that, yeah, it's not the same as a solitude and loneliness are not the same thing at all. Solitude can be a lovely thing.
Solitude, yes. And solitude includes peace. Solitude includes peace. And when I say, girl, I take my peace where I can get it.
All right, okay. All right. How is it now then? So you said you've got is your son still at home then? What's your family situation?
Well, here's the thing. He actually was in Philadelphia. He's my oldest. He lives in Philadelphia. He's the
Right.
only one that didn't come home. So
Okay.
I have another son and I have a daughter, and they were at home through the pandemic with me. My younger son was living in Baltimore and he came home, and my daughter was living in Detroit and she came home.
All right.
And my grandson was with her. So we
Oh
were
my
all together,
goodness. You did have a
as you
full
can imagine.
You had a full house, yeah. I mean, everyone post-pandemic, everyone's kind of getting back, just really enjoying getting out and about. How is it where you are now then in Ohio? How is it? Are
Is
you doing some live gigs? Are you kind of
finally,
socializing? And has your family resumed their living quarters elsewhere?
yes, girl. Yes, indeed. Well, here's the
Lovingly, I
thing.
say that lovingly.
I do too. Well, here's the thing here in Ohio, things have opened up, things are opening up, and I love that. But because of how devastating, it's been
Mm.
on like the small businesses, your bar owners and things like that, and your nightclub owners and things like that, it's slow going to get live music back, because a lot of
Mm.
times they probably can't afford it yet. You know what I mean? So it's going to take people actually going out and supporting their favorite artists
And
and
yeah.
getting the scene back together. It's
What's
it's
your life
coming.
experience then? What do you feel is, you said it, well, from what you're saying, it's a little bit slow there. Have you done it? Have you had any live experience since you've, right? So what have you been doing? Maybe, yeah,
Well,
maybe
I'm
not too much.
playing probably about like twice a month or so. I'm playing out about twice a
Oh, you
month
do?
on weekends. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so what are you
it's
doing?
coming. A lot of cover stuff. I'm doing a few original gigs here and there, but like I said, those are the bars that were harder hit by
Uh-huh.
the pandemic because it's hard to get people out if you don't know that they have a built-in audience. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I take my gigs where I can get them. Girl, have fun.
Absolutely,
We'll
yeah.
travel.
I totally identify with that as an independent creative and as a fellow singer. Absolutely, we do cover gigs. I'm curious to know what are you singing? What are you singing, Carmen?
Lots of soul.
Okay. So what's your give us a bit of a just yeah, tell us your set list. Not the whole thing maybe, but just tell us some of the songs from your set list.
Okay. So it runs the gamut. So we do everything from like Motown, all of that stuff, until like even some Ariana Grande. We do a little bit of we do a little bit of Rihanna. We do a little bit of Beyonce. We do a little bit of
Okay.
everything,
Yeah, well, not
and
everybody
it's
can do a
it's
little bit of
fun. It's a
Ariana
lot of
Grande
fun.
and a little bit of Beyonce. So you say that, but for you to be able to do that is really, yeah, that's impressive because, yeah, there's no kind
What's funny is
there's no compromising with Ariana Grande or Beyonce if you're doing
no.
that. You have to go for it. And usually when you're doing a cover set, there's like a song that you think, oh, you know what, I'm enjoying this. There might be a time in the set where you think, oh, why am I not doing my own stuff? And then there'll be a song where you think, oh, I love this song. I'm really glad I'm doing this set. So which of your set are the ones where you think, I really love doing this song? Which are the covers?
My favorite song to sing is Shaka Khan Through the Fire.
Shaka Khan. Oh man, Shaka Khan, for goodness sake. And that song is so what a voice. I mean,
Oh
she's
my
got it, I
God.
think, yeah. Do you have a favorite singer? Every time I say that, I kind of think, oh, what about all the other singers that I love that I'm not saying right now? But Shaka Khan
Okay.
has got to be up. She's pretty much my favorite. She's one of, well, okay, I'm going to say she's one of my favorite singers. How can you not love her?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what though. Okay, and this is gonna sound like I'm sucking up, but I'm not. I promise I'm not. Since I was about 9 years old, I've been the world's biggest Durrani.
Aha, that's not sucking up because I mean, why do you think I've worked with them as long as they'll have me? I'm getting on a bit now, and so we don't know how much longer that's going to be. But while I'm with them, I appreciate they write fantastic songs, right?
Insanely beautiful songs, and it's such an inspiration to be able to just like the melodies, the music is so lavish, and I I appreciate Simon's voice.
Oh,
People don't
absolutely.
understand that man has range.
Yeah, exactly. I know because I've got to do backing, and I might have to go a bit higher than him or lower when I'm
You
yeah.
girl, you do your thing.
Yeah, well, I try, but he gives me enough range to play around with because those songs go through quite a few of those songs go through an entire vocal range, which is
Right,
great.
right.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah, and they're
crazy.
brilliant. They're really brilliant writers. So okay, so do you ever get to do any of those songs then live? If you say
I
you're,
do. I
oh,
do.
you
I
do. What do you
absolutely
do? What do
do.
you do live?
I do an 80s set, and it includes Hungry Like the Wolf, of course. And also we do The Reflex, and we do uh New Moon on Monday.
I love that song. Isn't that gorgeous? They're fantastic songwriters. But
They
you're
are.
obviously a really musical family as well, and you do a lot of songwriting too, by the sounds of it. So
Yeah.
what's coming up next for you, Carmen? I love that you're out twice a month doing live stuff because it's so
It's,
enriching, isn't it? And
yes.
really, and it flexes that muscle, and it can feel like um I don't know. It can feel well. It can feel like you
It
might
feeds
be
your
kind of,
soul. It
huh?
really does. It feeds your soul. It
It
really
does
does.
feed your soul. I know, and some people think. I mean, I'll go around the world with Duran and stuff and do these big gigs. But when I'm at home, I was doing local gigs, and most of the other session singers I know, they'll do local gigs. Like the smallest gig I did was
Yeah.
like 25, which I absolutely loved. Have you ever done a really small gig?
Girl, I have sang for the crickets, honey. There have been times, But you know what? Whether it's 200 or 2,000, whatever it is, you get out there and you give it your all, you
You
know.
do.
But
You do.
I love the intimacy of a small show too. But there's nothing, and I'm so jealous, girl, because I know ain't nothing like an arena.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't beat, but it's different though because everyone's that bit further away. But as you say,
Yes,
absolutely, whether it's a small audience or it's a large audience, you once you're actually in that performance zone, you just kind of go for it, don't you? And you do love it because I know that there's a few singers that may feel, okay, yeah, well, if it isn't 50,000 people, should I be still doing what I do? And absolutely, you should still be doing what you do because from someone that's done a whole spectrum of the gigs, when you do the small ones, you just get into it. Once you get into that music, as long as you've got a good set that you like, it's fabulous, isn't it? You really
yes,
enjoy it.
yes, yes.
So you're going to carry on with the 2 gigs a month, and then when's your next release? Are you like releasing quite regularly by the sounds of it?
Oh yeah, girl. Actually, I've got a song that's going to be dropping for the spring. My brother and I are working on actually two. And I'm hoping that they will lead into what we do as an album. Um, the one that I'm working on right now, and if people will check it out, is called "Forever in a Day."
What's it called?
Forever in a Day.
Forever in a Day. Is that Forever in a
Yes.
Day? That sounds like I want to check out Forever in a Day, which is what might I say that, but it's not quite released yet, right?
Yeah.
Is it
Actually, you
almost
can.
released or is it released?
We've got it on streaming platforms. We haven't done
Okay.
an official, but we've got it on streaming platforms right
Oh,
now. So anywhere
okay.
you want
So,
to stream it,
all right. So what, like Spotify?
yes. Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. You can find Forever in a Day.
All right. And is it under your name, Carmen, or is it under like you and your brother a different name, or is it under you?
Look for Carmen L. Miller.
Carmen L. Miller. Okay.
Yep.
All right, Forever in a Day. Well, I'm going to look for Carmen L. Miller, Forever in a Day, even though I can see you right here, but I'm going to check out my new music. And I just wish you all the best. And I absolutely loved your voice from what I heard. And enjoy the group. And I just really want to hear more of what you do. And I love that inspiration you said that as your children are getting older, then you really wanted to say to them or show to them, yes, you can do what you want to do. Whatever stage of your life
Always.
you're at, you can always do what you want to do. So thank you for inspiring
Thank
and
you.
for being the example. And thank you for your music and thank
And
you for your time.
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you. If anybody wants to check me out, they can go to www.carmenmillermusic.com. Hey.
www.carmenmiller.com. Right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
It's
Thanks,
been
Carmen.
awesome meeting you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you. Hope I meet you in person.
You know what? I will, because I'm going to the Touch the Sunrise weekend, girl.
I will see you there.
All right. I'll
Bye.
see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.